Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Today we are going to start with the reactions of group 15. Now in group 15 you will see that there are many reactions of P block chapter and many a times these reactions are asked in the board exam. The first thing is that many of the reactions have to be memorized. Now today in this video I will discuss few simple tips and tricks how to remember these reactions. More or less it will be based upon memory based learning, but still some tips will be really useful for you to remember. Let us see the reactions now. All the reactions of P block of group 15 I can divide into 4 types. The first type of reactions will be very important reactions. So the first I will discuss with you very important reactions where I have got 4 reactions to be studied. There are 2 reactions which are disproportionation reactions in the group 15. They have to be understood, they have to be learnt. Then there are some reactions which are having a lot of similarities. They are more or less having similar features, or we can say they are based upon logics. So they are logical. So approximately I have seen around 19 reactions are there which are having logic based learning and all that. And the last category of reactions, I can say they are very easy reactions, which will be around, let us say, 28 of such reactions are there. So in this manner we are going to address all these reactions. First I'll start with the first and the second one, that is very important, and the disproportionation reactions. These are the 4 important reactions, which means they have been asked many a times in the board exam. So that is why I call them as important. The first reaction, as you can see, is Brown ring test reaction. You have already studied about this reaction, Brown ring test. Brown ring test is used for testing the presence of nitrate ions in a salt. Nitrate ions will be acting as oxidizing agent, and we are using freshly prepared ferrous sulfate as reducing agent here. We have done this in chemistry practicals, therefore it is not very challenging for remembering. Okay, so nitrate is an oxidizing agent. To the OS we are adding freshly prepared ferrous sulfate and few drops of concentrated H2SO4 from the side of test tube. So this much everybody remembers, and the nitrate will be oxidizing agent, so it will get reduced to nitric oxide. So this is nitric oxide which is formed, which is a kind of Lewis base now, which is a kind of donor of electrons, which we will call it as ligand now. Ferrous gets oxidized because it's a reducing agent, it gets oxidized to ferric and water is formed. So the first reaction is simple. Second reaction is also a part of Brown ring test, where the Fe plus 2 surrounded by water is becoming a complex species, FeH2O6 3 plus. Now this complex is reacting with the ligand NO of the first step, nitric oxide, and one of the water molecules will come out and nitric oxide will get inside. So you get this brown colored ring. So this is the formula of the brown colored ring, and that is, you can see, penta aqua nitroso ferrous ions plus water is formed. So these 2 reactions are very important for your board exam. What is the formula of the brown ring? So I think you must remember this, it's not very difficult. The third reaction is very important again, because it is a kind of disproportionation. Phosphorus is boiled in sodium hydroxide. What happens if phosphorus is taken in alkali boiling and boiled with alkali? It will disproportionate from oxidation state of 0 to +1, it is getting oxidized, and from 0 to -3 it is getting reduced. So here we get phosphine, poisonous gas, plus we get sodium hypophosphite. Okay, I will write its name because you must remember these names. Sodium hypophosphite. Okay, so please practice these reactions if you want to score 100 on 100 or 70 on 70. Now this is the next. Silver nitrate will get reduced by hypophosphorus acid. So this is going to reduce it, and you will see that it gets oxidized from H3PO2 to H3PO4. It will become phosphoric acid and silver nitrate. So silver will get reduced from +1 to 0, isn't it? So it's silver will be formed. This will become H3PO4, and what is left behind is nitric acid. Okay, so please give some time and learn these 4 reactions. Now I will show you the 2 disproportionation reactions which are there in the book. The first disproportionation reaction is H3PO3 breaking down to give you H3PO4 and phosphine. So here you can see that the oxidation state of phosphorus is +3. It is getting oxidized to +5. It is getting reduced to -3. Similarly, nitrogen +3 is also very unstable. It is also getting oxidized to +5, just like this, and it is getting reduced to +2. Not like -3 but +2. So these two things have some similarity. You can see +3, +3. So the nitrogen +3 and phosphorus +3 is extremely unstable. Explain with a reaction. So this question can be there. So you will explain the disproportionation reaction, which means self-oxidation reduction. Okay, so these are the reactions which you have to do. Now we will see the reactions which are all having similarities. The first reaction is copper reacting with dilute HNO3. Now here nitric acid is an oxidizing agent. So it is oxidizing copper from copper 0 to copper +2. So here it's very simple to remember. You will get a salt, copper nitrate. Zinc reacts with dilute HNO3, you will get a salt, zinc nitrate. Copper reacts with concentrated HNO3, again you will get the same salt. Again zinc reacts with concentrated HNO3, you will get the same salt. So if the metals react with dilute or concentrated, the products are going to be the same metallic salt, but the byproducts will be different. Now here, if you take concentrated HNO3 with the metal, these answers are always the same. You will get nitrogen dioxide plus water. So this is always the same thing. Here also you are getting nitrogen dioxide plus water. So concentrated will give you the same thing. But if you take copper with dilute HNO3, you will get nitric oxide. And if you take zinc with dilute HNO3, you will get dinitrogen oxide. So these two things little bit we have to remember. Rest all the things are I think logical enough to understand. Metal salts, water is compulsory in all the things. Nitrogen dioxide gas is formed if it is concentrated acid. But if it is dilute HNO3, with zinc you will get dinitrogen oxide, and with copper you will get nitric oxide. This is also logical reaction where you can see that we are taking HNO3 concentrated as an oxidizing agent. It is oxidizing iodine to iodic acid, HiO3, and itself getting reduced to NO2 and water. So whenever you take concentrated HNO3 as an oxidizing agent, it will decompose to give you nitrogen dioxide and water only. So in these reactions we can see that first reaction has been asked many a times in the exam for give reasons. This also has been asked in exam. The question is, why does PCl5 fume in moisture? Or why does PCl3 fume in moisture? Why do you get fumes when we keep their bottles open? So because they undergo hydrolysis. So first you can see that it is reacting with water to give you hydrochloric acid fumes, first thing. And a byproduct phosphorus oxychloride. Now this will further undergo hydrolysis to give you H3PO4 and again more fumes of HCl. So you will get one of the phosphorus acids and HCl. Same thing, PCl3 also will produce fumes of HCl. Okay, so fumes are due to HCl, that point is clear. HCl is coming out, and what is the other thing which is coming out is one acid of phosphorus. If it is PCl3, it is going to be H3PO3. You can see 3,3. And if it is PCl5, we don't have anything like H3PO5. So we have to have H3PO4. The next reaction is chlorinating agent. So these PCl5 is a very good chlorinating agent. So if you heat it with silver, it will get silver chloride. If you heat it with tin, you will get tin tetrachloride. And what will happen to PCl5? It will become lower version of it, that is PCl3. So this is also not very difficult to remember. Now these reactions are related with phosphorus family, phosphine basically. You can see everywhere, we can see phosphine, 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 phosphine and phosphine. So it's very simple to remember. If you take calcium phosphide with water, phosphide on the left hand side, you will get phosphine on the right side. Phosphide on the left side, phosphine on the right side. Phosphine on the left, phosphide on the right. Phosphine on the left, phosphide on the right. So they have to be on either side, okay? Then phosphide plus water gives you phosphine plus alkali. Phosphide plus acid gives you phosphine plus salt. Now this is easy because pH3, if you have removed out from here pH3, then what is left? Cl is left, CaCl2. It's common sense. Similarly here also, if you have removed pH3, so from here H you have removed, OH is left, so OH and Ca is equal to CaOH twice. So this is simple logic you have to apply. Same way here also, if you are having phosphine on the left, you will have phosphide on the right, and what is H is left here and SO4 is left here, so sulfuric acid. Similarly here you are taking phosphide from here, H is left, Cl is left, so HCl. Now this is very simple decomposition of purification of phosphine. This is the reaction. It's simple. PH4i is nothing but PH3 plus HI. You can imagine it like that. And HI is an acid and this is an alkali. So neutralization, you will get Ki, you will get H2O, Ki, H2O and PH3 is formed. So these are very simple logical reactions. Now these reactions are again the same where we talk about the oxidizing power of nitric acid. Concentrated nitric acid you are taking here, and as we discussed, whenever you take concentrated HNO3 as an oxidizing agent, the byproducts will be NO2 plus water, NO2 plus water, NO2 plus water. It will oxidize phosphorus to its highest version. So there are many acids of phosphorus, H3PO2, H3PO3, H3PO4. So since concentrated nitric acid is a very strong oxidizing agent, it will give you H3PO4. Sulfur, it can change it to SO2, it can change it to SO3, it can change it to SO4. So we are getting highest version of it. Sulfate. Carbon can change to carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. The highest version is carbon dioxide. So we get carbon dioxide. So please remember it this way. Now these are the reactions which are very easy ones. Barium azide, sodium azide. Now when you heat azide, you get the metal and you get the nitrogen gas. So this is very easy. Then you have to balance it on by trial and error method. So we'll get 3 nitrogen over here. Similarly, if you do it for the case of sodium also, you will get 2 Na3, which will give you how many sodiums? 2 sodiums and 3 times nitrogen gas. So balancing has to be done by trial and error method. Now here's lithium plus nitrogen will give you lithium nitride. Nitride means N minus 3. Li is plus 1. So 3 into plus 1 is plus 3 and this is minus 3. Balance it out. 6 times lithium you will take. 2 times this will be there. Magnesium plus nitrogen will give you magnesium nitride. Mg is plus 2. Nitride is minus 3. So cross multiply. Mg3 and 2. Mg will be 3 and N will be 2. Alright. 3 times you can take it and 2 times nitrogen is already there. So it's balanced. Next is Haber's process. N2 plus H2 is giving you ammonia. N2 plus 3H2 will give you 2 ammonia. Ostwald's process, first step, nitrogen plus oxygen, nitric oxide, 2 times. So these are very simple reactions, not at all challenging for you. Let us see the next reaction of urea, NH2CO, NH2. If it starts decomposing in the presence of moisture, you will get, it's an excretory product. Okay, urea plus water will give you ammonium carbonate, NH4 twice CO3. And what happens to NH4 twice CO3 on decomposition, you know, it will give you ammonia gas. 2 times you can see here 2 NH4. So 2 ammonia plus 2H has come out from here, 1 oxygen from here. So H2O plus carbon dioxide. This was very simple. So this is the reaction of preparation of ammonia, and on naturally how is it made? From excretory products. Let us see some more reactions. CaOH twice. So what products do you get? Calcium chloride plus water. Okay, CaOH twice plus HCl gives you calcium chloride plus water, and ammonia is also there coming out. And then balancing you can do it by trial and error method. So we can get here 2 times, this will be 1 time only, we'll get 2 times ammonia because here it's 2 NH4, and water is also going to be 2 times. Same logic here, ammonium sulfate is nothing but 2 ammonia plus H2SO4. H2SO4 plus NaOH will give you Na2SO4. So we'll get Na2SO4, we will get water also, we'll get ammonia 2 times. Balance it out, 2 times NaOH, you will get 2 ammonia, we'll get 2 water, we will get Na2SO4. Ammonia is a base because when it reacts with water, it gives you NH4 plus and OH minus. This is very simple, turning red litmus blue. Ammonium hydroxide is a very good reagent for testing the presence of many metal cations like Fe plus 3. So here you will get a reddish brown PPT of Fe2O3 dot XH2O. So this is related with your practicals, so it is easy to remember again. We will get reddish brown PPT of ferric hydroxide or hydrated ferric oxide plus now ammonium chloride. You can balance it also on your own by trial and error method, as I have told you. Now zinc also is a white salt, and to precipitate it we are using ammonia liquor or ammonium hydroxide. So we will get a white colored precipitate of zinc hydroxide and salt, ammonium salt. So that is the way you have to think, understand, remember, and balancing later on. So this is already balanced. Okay, let us see some more. Now these two reactions are important, which talk about the complexing action of ammonia. So it's a complexing reagent, or it is a compound which can make coordinate bonds. Okay, so here it will act as a Lewis base. So ammonia and copper will form a coordination compound. Copper will be surrounded by ammonia 4 times. 4 is the coordination number of copper, and the overall charge will be 2 plus because ammonia is having a 0 charge. The color is changing to deep blue. These are the questions for your practical viva also and for your theory. So why does copper, which is blue, becomes deep blue when you add ammonia? Because it forms a complex. Silver plus chloride, silver chloride, white colored. Why does it disappear on adding ammonia? Because it also forms a complex. Disappear means soluble complex. So you can see that AgNH3 2 times we are taking here. Coordination number of silver is 2. Number of bonds it has made is 2. And the charge on silver is 1. And there's one chloride also. So we can write chloride like that and remove this plus sign then. So this complex is going to be soluble. So why does blue becomes deep blue? Why does white becomes colorless? Because they form a complex. This forms a colored complex, this forms a colorless complex. So these are from your group 15 again. Nitrogen dioxide, very unstable compound. If you cool it, it will form a dimer N2O4. and if you heat it, it will again form NO2. N2O4 is colorless and NO2 is brown. So the questions which can be asked here is, why is NO2 dimerizing? Because it's unstable in paramagnetic. Paramagnetic are those species which have unpaired electrons and they want to stabilize themselves. So NO2 will be having a structure of this pattern, and it is, you can see unpaired electron is there, so it's paramagnetic. So two such species can dimerize, and this is the way they will form N2O4, and it is going to be diamagnetic and stable. The next is your preparation of, you can see what we are doing, N2O5. I want to make N2O5. So HNO3 plus P4O10, nitric acid plus P4O10. What is P4O10? You can think it is a dimer of P2O5, okay? Like this you will remember it. So what will happen if you take this? It will automatically become N2O5. Okay, and HPO3, you will get an oxo acid of phosphorus, HPO3. So it's not difficult, just change the atom, nitrogen, instead of that write phosphorus, and instead of phosphorus write nitrogen, but we will write it in the form of monomer N2O5. Then balance it out, HNO3 4 times you can take here, so 4 times is this also. This was mono or dimer, so this is monomer, 2 times you will have to take. The next reaction is preparation of nitric acid, extremely simple, HNO3 you can see here. And what is the other thing coming out from here? The salt, NaHSO4. Next is your reaction of nitrogen dioxide plus water. This is again Ostwald's process. Last step, you will get the acid, 68% nitric acid, plus the byproduct nitric oxide. Nitric acid is mixing with water, so it will give you H3O plus NO3 minus, showing that it is an acid. It can turn the blue litmus paper into red color. Now these are again from phosphorus. Phosphorus reacts with oxygen, phosphorus reacts with chlorine. So phosphorus reacts with oxygen to give you phosphorus pentoxide, which will be dimerizing to give you phosphorus P4O10. This is the Lewis acid, Lewis base. Acid base will give you salt. Like ammonia plus HBr is equal to ammonium bromide, so phosphine plus HBr is equal to phosphonium bromide. Okay, so that is not very difficult. Phosphorus plus chlorine can give you PCl3. Phosphorus plus chlorine can give you PCl5. If it is in less amount, PCl3. If it is in high amount, it is PCl5. Let us say it is high amount here, so we'll have 10 times and this will be 4 times. Similarly, if you do it here, it will be 6 times and 4 times, 12. PCl3 is a very good chlorinating agent. This we have done in organic chemistry chapter. It will replace the OH, it will replace the OH. So we'll get CH3, CO, and instead of OH, Cl. C2H5, instead of OH, Cl. And what is the other product you're going to get here? If you react it with PCl3, you will be getting the other product as POH 3 times. Look at that. Similarly here you are getting same thing, POH thrice. Okay, so these reactions were very easy to understand. Just apply a little logic. Phosphorus plus oxygen, phosphorus pentoxide, phosphine plus acid is equal to salt, phosphorus plus little chlorine, PCl3, phosphorus plus more chlorine, PCl5. PCl3 is a good chlorinating agent. So you have to remove the OH, you have to write the Cl and apply the logic. PCl3 will now become POH thrice, POH thrice. Now these are some reactions which do not fall under any category. You have to put some efforts to learn them. Okay, I will just try my level best to help you in little as much way I can. So here first reaction is, you can see N2 is coming out, second also N2. So this is the reaction which is used for preparation of nitrogen gas. Apart from that, there are some other methods which we have discussed. Azides, when we heat we will get pure nitrogen, because here we get products, there we don't get any extra byproducts. See, ammonium chloride plus NaNO2, you will get nitrogen gas which is coming out from here. What is left is now sodium and chloride. Just apply a little logic, okay? So Na is going to react with anion Cl, and what is left is water. Same way here, ammonium dichromate, if you heat you will get 2 times nitrogen coming out like nitrogen gas. You are now left with hydrogen only, so hydrogen goes with oxygen to give you water, and the chromium goes with little bit oxygens which are left, so Cr2O3. Ammonium nitrate is a highly explosive salt which is going to explode if you heat it to give you moisture and dinitrogen oxide. This reaction is used for preparation of nitric oxide. How to prepare it? Look at this. It is little bit similar to brown ring test which we discussed. Okay, in brown ring test we were taking freshly prepared ferrous sulfate, concentrated H2SO4, but we were doing it for nitrate, but here we have nitrite. A little bit differences there, okay? Some similarities are also there. So FeSO4 is easy, sulfuric is easy, nitrite we have to just remember, ferrous gets oxidized to ferric sulfate, easy. In brown ring test we were getting nitric oxide, so that's easy. Water is easy, this is easy. And now naturally sodium is left. So it will react with HSO4 to form sodium bisulfate. This reaction is for preparation of N2O3, N2O, NO, N2O3. So these are all preparation of nitrogen oxides. Okay. Now a little bit logic you have to again apply. So N2O4 means what? 2 times NO2. N2O4 means NO2, and one of the NO will react with NO2, so give you N2O3. How many times you are getting this? 2 times you are getting this. Okay. Lead nitrate, any salt of nitrate, if you heat it, you know you're going to get this only answer, nitrogen dioxide, and the remaining will come out as an oxide of the metal. Like zinc nitrate also, if you take, you will get ZnO plus NO2. Now these are the last reactions where we will see that oxidation of ammonia can take place. Ammonia will react with oxygen to form nitric oxide plus water, NO and HO, like that. Then this is the second method for preparation of PCl5. First method was phosphorus plus lot of chlorine, you will get PCl5. This is the second method, phosphorus plus sulfuryl chloride will give you PCl5 plus SO2. SO2 will come out here. And if you use sulfonyl chloride, look at this, sulfuryl, this is sulfonyl. So you will get PCl3 and same product SO2 plus sulfur monochloride. So somewhat similarities are there here. SO2 is coming out. This is so easy for every child to understand. And here if it is SOCl2, the lower version you can say of this sulfur chloride, oxychloride, then you will get PCl3, and if you get the higher version, that is a lot of oxygen, then you will get PCl5 coming out from here and the other products. So this is all the reactions which I have completed today, and with the expectation and hope that this video will little bit help you to learn the reactions of P block 15th group. Basically many reactions are there, so I would advise you to please write down the reactions in a separate notebook first of all. That is the way you're going to study all the reactions. Please write down, and regularly for 10 minutes you have to go through all the reactions which are there, and definitely you will remember. The video which I have made, you can watch it for some time and get some idea, some insight on how to do it. So keep watching, studying, and all the best for your studies and exam. If you have any queries, as I have told you, please write in the comment box, and if you have any special request, want any special video to be made, definitely I'll do it for you. till then. And if you have not subscribed yet, please do subscribe if you want to see that which new video have I uploaded, and it can be useful for you. Thank you so much again. Thanks for watching. Take care and bye bye.